As long as a TV show is interesting enough, you can expect the fans to get glued to it. And while this is a good thing, it also means that their attentiveness will help them spot as many plot holes as there are in the show. Trust me when I say this can become annoying if the show's writers do nothing to resolve it. Blue Bloods, just like any other program, has its fair share of continuity problems. It ranges from something as serious as age gap conflicts to something as silly as a wrong home address. It's to be expected, given the number of writers involved, although that shouldn't be an excuse. I mean, aren't the writers supposed to be on the same page? Literally. That being said, let's take a look at some of the biggest plot holes in Blue Bloods. I assure you, some of them will either annoy you or make you laugh.
Defectives. Yeah, that's another good one. Never heard that before.
And one of the most annoying or funny plot holes on the show is Joe's age. The age of the man called Joe is a major problem for continuity in Blue Bloods. Fans were made to believe that he would be one of the middle children because of the role he played as a link between Danny and Jamie. The date of his birth, which is June 6, 1977, is inscribed on his headstone, lending further credence to this theory. Now, Erin turned 40 in season 6, making her 19 months older than Joe if she had been born in November 1975. Danny is about 2 years older than Erin, as was mentioned in both seasons 1 and 2. So, in the Reagan family, Danny would come first, then Erin, then Joe, and lastly Jamie. But surprisingly, Frank has said, or been interpreted as saying, that Joe is the oldest in a couple episodes. How did this happen? So, according to the most up-to-date data, Joe is now 19 months older than Danny. Without moving Joe's birth year to at least 1971, Erin would have been 15 when Nikki was born, which is obviously impossible. CBS's website also identifies Danny as the network's oldest member. What a bummer! The wedding anniversary of Danny and Linda is another plot hole that needs to be resolved. Danny says he's been married for 12 years when asked in Blue Bloods Season 2, Episode 14, but he celebrates their 16th wedding anniversary in Season 3, Episode 4. In addition, 14 years ago on that day, Danny says they went on their first date in Season 4, Episode 6. As for the location of Danny and Linda's home, well, that serves as another massive plot hole. A plate in the front flower bed displays their home address as 7154 Lubitz Street, which was used for exterior shots of the property used to portray Danny and Linda's home. However, after the house was destroyed, the address plate read 1712 Amboy Road. Strange, isn't it?
For you.
What?
Guess who?
Be right back.
Speaking of Linda, there seems to be some mystery surrounding the van that she drives on the show. Fans of the show will tell you in an instant that Linda's van was normally red. However, it was a different color and model when it developed engine issues and eventually caught fire. Care to explain? Another plot hole that needs explanation is Jamie's debt to Harvard University. When Jamie's gun is stolen from his locker in Season 1, Episode 21, Alex Bellos reveals that Jamie owes $85,000 in student loans. But it was later mentioned that he owes $200,000 when he first meets Eddie's mom, Lena, in Season 9, Episode 7.
He went to Harvard. $250,000 in tuition, and you decided to be a cop.
Well, my whole family's in law enforcement, so I guess it was in the blood.
Now, how do you go from owing $85,000 in student loans to $200,000? Someone please tell us. We may never see the resolution of these insane plot holes, but the good news is that CBS has promised to resolve a major plot hole from Season 13. Blue Bloods, starring Tom Selleck and Donnie Wahlberg, will have a new primetime lead-in with Fire Country, starring Max Theriot of SEAL Team, when it returns to CBS's fall schedule in October.
1013 officer shot, Queens Boat Basin.
We can't wait for a bus. It's under the vest. Come on, help me get him up. Come on.
The long-running popular show will be undergoing other changes as well. Fans will witness one character take on new job obligations in a way that tackles a plot hole larger than Selleck's mustache on the show. Sorry, Selleck. After Season 10 and Blue Bloods passed without any major changes to either character's professional situation, some viewers began to wonder if it was realistic for Jamie Reagan and Eddie Janko to continue to work so closely together at the precinct after they got married in the Season 9 finale. Showrunner Kevin Wade recently told TV Line that 3 seasons in, Jamie will be the one to switch positions without leaving the building. Even though there is no official legislation prohibiting it, it is against the rule of custom for spouses to work together in a precinct. Of course, this has been an issue since Jamie and Eddie got married. This season, however, they report to a new CO, Sergeant McNichols, played by Stephanie Kurtsuba, who informs them one of you is going to transfer by the end of the day. I'm sure many of you can relate to the experience of having a new supervisor at work who quickly begins implementing changes without first determining which ones worked and which ones did not. This move is less contentious than others that could happen, since it is less of a procedural shift and more of a staffing issue that runs counter to customary rules. Sergeant McNichols not trying to force Jamie out the door is encouraging too. For Jamie to be promoted to the position of Field Information Officer in that division, it means he doesn't wear a uniform and misses out on the morning rollout, but he still has a legit job with the NYPD. Fans of Jamie and Eddie's working dynamic may be disappointed to hear this, but it's unlikely to have any significant impact on their personal lives. And by giving Jamie more responsibility at work, the writers will have more material to work with.
You really gotta rain on my parade every time.
Eddie, I just don't want to get our hopes up.
Did you hear that?
Keep in mind that confidential informants are typically recruited by field information officers, who evaluate suspects and perpetrators before they are brought into a precinct for further processing. It'll be a diplomatic exercise, a police operation, and a fishing trip all rolled into one. It appears that in Season 3 and onward, Jamie will rely heavily on his wits and persuasive abilities. A botched attempt to convert someone could lead to violent criminals seeking vengeance, but that doesn't mean Eddie won't have to deal with threats on her own. After the premiere of Season 12's Numbers, star Donnie Wahlberg applauded Blue Blood's continued success as one of the most watched broadcast dramas year after year. And Jamie's new work duties probably won't generate enough of a fuss to alter the show's popularity. Meanwhile, CBS has renewed Blue Bloods for the 2023-24 season, marking the 14th year of the popular police procedurals broadcast. Tom Selleck, Donnie Wahlberg, Bridget Moynihan, and Will Estes, among others, are scheduled to return, as is the show's top production team led by showrunner Kevin Wade. Deadline claimed that after Blue Bloods was noticeably absent from CBS's list of drama series renewals last month, the network was demanding huge budget cutbacks. This amounts to 25% for above-the-line talent, including actors, which makes a pickup for long-running success extremely unlikely. In order to keep the program running and to keep hundreds of crew members and other support staff employed, the cast and producers reportedly agreed to compensation concessions on Friday. That allowed for the renewal of the show for a 14th season. Wade, together with Siobhan Byrne O'Connor, Ian Biederman, and Dan Truly, will serve as executive producers for the series.
Hopefully, if he doubles back, he doesn't find anything.
It seems the 14th season will be the last, so let's just hope it will be free of unresolved plot holes like the previous seasons.